I am on a journey back through time. Architecture, medicine and writing, the benchmarks of civilization. Many theories have been put forward to try and explain the riddle. None of this happened overnight, so where did all this knowledge come from?
You know, when we talk about the discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb, it's like we're diving into one of the most thrilling chapters of Egypt's past. Picture this. It's 1922 and Howard Carter, this British archaeologist bankrolled by Lord Carnarvon, hits the jackpot in the Valley of the Kings. He finds KV 62, Tutankhamun's tomb, and it's almost like they just left the place. Unlike most royal tombs, which were pretty much empty shelves thanks to centuries of looting, this one was jam-packed. We're talking a gold treasure trove giving us a front row seat to the new kingdom's burial fanfare. The stuff Carter unearthed is mind-blowing. Over 5,000 items. Imagine walking into a room filled with golden chariots, thrones, weapons, and then, bam, you see this golden sarcophagus with the most iconic gold mask ever. That mask, man, it's not just some fancy accessory, it's like looking at the sun, a symbol of the pharaoh's power and divine status. And the tomb wasn't just about bling. It had loads of everyday stuff too, like wood and textiles, giving us a real taste of life during Tutankhamun's time. Now let's zoom in on some of the most mind-blowing stuff in there. First up, there's this solid gold coffin right where King Tut's mummy was chilling. It's not just any old gold box. This thing's decked out with the works that think intricate designs, a traditional headdress, a ceremonial beard, and get this, it's studded with lapis lazuli. That's like the VIP pass in the ancient gem world. It's not just for show though. These symbols and deities on the coffin are a direct hotline to the Egyptian afterlife beliefs. Then there's the showstopper, the gold mask. This isn't just a mask, it's a statement. Crafted from gold and inlaid with colored glass and precious stones, it's the face of ancient Egypt, literally. It's got this serene look, capturing the essence of what it meant to be a pharaoh. Don't even get me started on the thrones. There's this one throne, a gilded wooden number featuring Tutankhamun and his queen, Ankhesenamun. It's like an ancient love seat, but royal style, with detailed carvings and inlays. It's a sneak peek into the royal love life back then. Now, for the warrior in Tut, there are these archery bows and trumpets. They're not just well-preserved antiques, they're symbols of his role as a hunter and warrior. Think about the craftsmanship that went into making these. It's like ancient Egypt's version of high-tech gear. And then there's this lotus chalice made of alabaster. The lotus in their culture was a big deal. It meant creation, rebirth. So this wasn't just a fancy cup, it was a symbol of life's cycle. Of course, there's more chariots, shields, a royal seal, even clothes and jewelry. Each piece is a puzzle piece in understanding what it was like to be King Tut. And the jewelry, oh man, it's not just bling. It's full of religious and protective mojo. So what's all this worth? Sure, there's a price tag. The gold mask alone is worth over $2 million. But honestly, can you really put a price on a time capsule like this? It's like holding a piece of history in your hands. This tomb, it's more than a burial site. It's a gateway to understanding a civilization that's been intriguing us for millennia. Now here's the kicker. This find didn't just fill up a museum. It reignited our love affair with ancient Egypt. People went nuts over everything Egyptian, a phenomenon we call Egyptomania. And let's give Carter some credit. The guy was a trailblazer in how to do archaeology right, detailed, careful, making sure nothing got lost in the shuffle. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Keeping these treasures safe and sound has been a bit of a headache. They're old, delicate, and need a lot of TLC. Luckily, you can still see many of these jaw-dropping pieces, including the star of the show, the gold mask at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. It's like a magnet pulling in folks from all over the globe, all eager to peek into a world that's been gone for millennia. Picture this. It's 2009 and Terry Herbert, just your average guy with a metal detector, is roaming around a field in Staffordshire, England. He's got his detector humming and beeping, and then bam, he hits the jackpot. He starts finding bits of gold. Not just any gold, mind you, but pieces that scream history. He knows he's onto something big, so he calls up Duncan Slark from the Portable Antiquities Scheme. And just like that, we're on the verge of one of the most jaw-dropping discoveries in recent times, the Staffordshire Hoard. So the experts jump in and they start this mega excavation. They're digging, sifting, and recording everything super carefully. Imagine them mapping out every inch of the field, treating each piece they find like a piece of a giant, precious puzzle, and the picture they're putting together is nothing short of extraordinary. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. They find over 3,500 items, that's right, 3,500 pieces of Anglo-Saxon gold and silver. It's like they've stumbled into an ancient warrior's dream stash. The stuff they're pulling out of the ground isn't your average old metalwork. We're talking sword pommels, bits of helmets, all kinds of war gear with some serious craftsmanship. This hoard isn't just a random collection of shiny things, it's telling us a story, and it sounds a lot like it's straight out of a legend or an epic poem. These pieces might have been trophies from battles, maybe payments to mercenary warriors, or even offerings to some long-forgotten deity. And the fact that they're all broken and torn apart, that just adds to the mystery. It's like they were ripped off weapons and armor as souvenirs from some ancient battlefield. This hoard, dug up in 2009, is not just any old stash of metal. It's predominantly gold and silver, shining a light on the kind of wealth and status these guys were rolling in. But wait, there's more. They also threw in some garnet, glass, and other fancy materials for their inlays, adding some serious bling to the mix. Now the sword pommels in this hoard, they're something else. There's a whole bunch of them, and each one is like a unique piece of art. These weren't just lumps of metal on the end of a sword, they were intricately designed with animal patterns weaving in and out, and even some Christian symbols popping up here and there. It's like a mashup of old-world paganism and the new Christian vibes sweeping through at the time. And the way they're made, with garnet and glass intricately fitted together, it's a testament to how skilled these Anglo-Saxon metalworkers were. But hold on, the cool stuff doesn't stop there. The hoard's got fragments of helmets, think cheek guards, crests, decorative plates, and these pieces are as fancy as they come. They remind me of the Sutton Hoo helmet, another epic Anglo-Saxon find. It's like each piece is telling a story of battles and kings. And then there are the crosses. These aren't just religious symbols, they're a clue to how Christianity was weaving its way into Anglo-Saxon England. These crosses were probably used for private devotion. Imagine holding one of these gold and gem-encrusted crosses in your hands, thinking about the big guy upstairs. But wait, there's even more. The hoard's got all sorts of odds and ends. Gold strips that might have come from sword hilts, jewelry, bits and pieces that would have been strapped onto armor. Some of these items have inscriptions in Latin or runic script, which is like having a direct line to the thoughts and languages of the time. It's 1947, and a Bedouin shepherd is just minding his own business in the Qumran caves near the Dead Sea. He stumbles upon these old scrolls, and little does he know, he's just hit the archaeological jackpot. These aren't just any scrolls, they're the Dead Sea Scrolls, a treasure trove of ancient wisdom. This accidental find leads to more digging, and before you know it, from 1947 to 1956, they've uncovered hundreds of manuscripts and thousands of fragments in 11 different caves. It's like they've uncovered a hidden library from the distant past. Now let's talk about what's actually on these scrolls. They're mostly written on parchment, some on papyrus, and there's even one on copper. That's some serious variety in ancient writing materials. The texts are primarily in Hebrew, with bits in Aramaic and a dash of Greek. What's really cool is they include fragments of nearly every book of the Hebrew Bible, except Esther, along with some apocryphal stuff and writings about a Jewish sect from the Second Temple period. It's like we've found a time capsule from an era that's crucial to understanding the roots of both Judaism and Christianity. The real kicker here is that these scrolls are the oldest copies of the Hebrew Bible we've ever found, dating from way back in the 3rd century BC to the 1st century AD. They offer a glimpse into the diversity of religious thought during the Second Temple period, like getting a backstage pass to early religious practices and beliefs. For scholars, these scrolls are pure gold. They've been instrumental in studying how the Hebrew Bible was put together and understanding the early history of Judaism. But it's not just about what's written on them. Their age and rarity have made them super valuable, with individual scrolls valued at up to $20 million. That's a lot of zeros for some ancient parchment. Preserving these scrolls has been a massive effort. They're incredibly fragile, so there's been a big push to digitize them for both preservation and study. You can even see many of them on display at the Shrine of the Book in Jerusalem, bringing this ancient world to the public. The Dead Sea Scrolls are more than just ancient texts. They're a bridge between the past and present. What if I told you that beneath your feet, hidden in a forgotten shipwreck or tucked away in an ancient burial mound, could lie treasures worth millions, even billions of dollars? But what really makes them so valuable? Is it the weight of the gold or the history they hold? Let's take an adventurous journey through time and across continents to unearth some of the most staggering treasure finds in history, starting with a mysterious burial mound in England, the Sutton Hoo. Journey with me to Egypt, 1922. Howard Carter, an archaeologist backed by the wealth of Lord Carnarvon, made one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of all time, the virtually undisturbed tomb of the pharaoh Tutankhamun. After years of fruitless digging in the Valley of the Kings, Carter's persistence finally paid off. He discovered a flight of steps that led to a sealed door and beyond it, a world untouched for over 3,000 years. Inside the tomb were 4 rooms filled with items that offered an invaluable glimpse into the wealth, sophistication, and culture of ancient Egypt. These items, more than 5,000 in total, were meticulously recorded by Carter and his team over the course of 8 years. Among the treasures were chariots, statues, a ceremonial fan, food and wine jars, and personal items of the boy king. The centerpiece was the stone sarcophagus containing 3 nested coffins, the final one made of solid gold. Inside lay the mummy of the young king, adorned with a dazzling funerary mask of gold and lapis lazuli, considered one of the most beautiful artistic creations in the world. This mask alone weighs about 22.6 pounds of solid gold and is one of the most iconic symbols of ancient Egypt. Valuing the treasures of King Tut's tomb is an almost impossible task due to its historical, archaeological, and cultural importance. However, if we were to consider just the raw materials, the price of gold alone for the burial mask would today be around $600,000. But the real value lies far beyond the cost of materials. When the treasures toured in the late 1970s, they were insured for an estimated $36 million. In today's dollars, accounting for inflation, that would be close to $144 million. But the actual value of this window into ancient Egypt is truly immeasurable. It's 1622, Spain. The Nuestra Señora de Atocha, a heavily armed galleon, set sail from Cuba back to Spain, laden with an unimaginable wealth extracted from the New World. The treasure on board included 24 tons of silver bullion, 180,000 silver coins, copper ingots, gold coins, emeralds, and other precious jewels. But fate had other plans for the Atocha. Just a day after setting sail, it was caught in a furious hurricane, sinking it near the Florida Keys and taking its treasure down to the bottom of the sea. Fast forward to the 20th century, enter treasure hunter Mel Fisher. Fisher spent 16 relentless years searching for the Atocha, overcoming hardship, doubt, and the tragic loss of his son and daughter-in-law in the pursuit. His motto was, "Today's the day," a testament to his undying belief that he would find the Atocha. And in July of 1985, Fisher's dream came true. They found the main pile of the Atocha, a mound of silver bars and other artifacts, the heart of the ship's lost cargo. The Atocha treasure find was enormous, the motherlode as Fisher called it. The treasure trove contained 40 tons of gold and silver, 114,000 Spanish silver coins known as pieces of 8, gold coins, Colombian emeralds, golden chains, and hundreds of other artifacts. Today, the salvaged gold and silver alone is worth over $400 million. But the story doesn't end there. Even though the main pile of the Atocha has been found, many of the ship's precious jewels are believed to still be scattered over the ocean floor, lost to the sands of time, waiting for the next Mel Fisher to declare, "Today's the day." Our final destination lies beneath the Atlantic Ocean, a world away from the Silk Road, where the story of the SS Central America unfolds. Also known as the Ship of Gold, the SS Central America was a 280-foot sidewheel steamer that operated between Central America and the eastern coast of the United States during the 1850s. In September 1857, she was caught in a hurricane and sank off the coast of the Carolinas, taking with her a treasure trove that played a pivotal role in the California gold rush. The ship was carrying a hefty cargo of gold prospectors returning from California, laden with their hard-earned nuggets and coins. When the ship sank, it was carrying an estimated 21 tons of gold, a loss that contributed to the Panic of 1857, a financial crisis that shook the United States. Fast forward to the 1980s, when a group led by marine engineer Tommy Thompson used evolving technology and extensive research to locate the shipwreck and recover a portion of its treasure. The treasure that they managed to bring up from the seabed included thousands of gold coins, hundreds of gold ingots, and countless gold nuggets. The exact value of the SS Central America's treasure is difficult to determine, as it depends on the weight, purity, and collector value of the individual pieces. However, the recovered gold was initially insured for $100 million when it was brought up in the late 1980s. Auctions of the treasure have since brought in tens of millions of dollars, and the full value of the recovered gold is thought to exceed $150 million. The majority of the treasure still lies at the bottom of the ocean, its exact worth unknown but undoubtedly colossal. The tale of the SS Central America is a reminder that sometimes the sea keeps the most glittering secrets. Our journey takes us now to Afghanistan in 1978, where a Soviet-Afghan archaeological team unearthed 6 burial mounds in the province of Jowzjan, near Shebagan in northern Afghanistan. The site, known as Tilia Tepe or Golden Hill, held an extraordinary discovery: a treasure hoard from an ancient nomadic tribe known as the Bactrians. The tombs contained over 20,000 pieces of jewelry and precious objects dating back to the 1st century BC. Golden bracelets, necklaces, medallions, crowns, belts, and even boot buckles, intricately designed with a mix of Hellenistic, Indian, Chinese, and nomadic influences. The most iconic piece from the hoard is perhaps the collapsible crown of one of the female nobles, adorned with a tree of life motif, showing the sublime craftsmanship of the time. This treasure, commonly referred to as the Bactrian gold, offers a golden window into the life, culture, and the wide-reaching connections of the ancient Silk Road. But what's even more remarkable is the story of its survival. During the turbulent years that followed its discovery, the Bactrian gold was thought lost or stolen. However, it was safely hidden away in a vault in Kabul, only to be rediscovered in 2003, thereby safeguarding an invaluable part of humanity's shared cultural heritage. So, what is the worth of this magnificent treasure trove? Placing a value on archaeological artifacts is challenging, but expert estimates suggest that the gold alone could be worth over $200 million. However, the historical and cultural significance of the Bactrian gold makes it in many ways truly priceless. Picture the calm countryside of Suffolk, England in 1939. Edith Pretty, a wealthy landowner intrigued by the mysterious earthen mounds on her property, hires self-taught archaeologist Basil Brown to investigate. As Basil digs into the heart of the largest mound, he uncovers an undisturbed ship burial, an incredible rarity of its kind. The burial belonged to a high-ranking individual, likely a king or a noble warrior from the 7th century. The ship measured a staggering 27 meters in length, but its contents were even more awe-inspiring. Buried within were a collection of artifacts with unrivaled craftsmanship and material richness, reflecting the pinnacle of the Anglo-Saxon period's artistic and technical capabilities. Among the items were weapons, including a sword and a shield, both highly ornamental and inlaid with garnets. More than 40 gold items were found, including a gold belt buckle that alone weighs 400 grams. Intricate shoulder clasps adorned with garnets and intricate filigree work, coins from Frankish mints, and a purse filled with gold coins were also discovered. But the most iconic find was undoubtedly the ornately decorated helmet, a symbol of sovereignty and martial prowess, restored from hundreds of fragments into a grand piece of history. Now, estimating the monetary value of the Sutton Hoo treasure is challenging because it's not just about the weight in gold, but also the historical and cultural significance, which is simply incalculable. For comparison, a single artifact from the Staffordshire Hoard, another Anglo-Saxon treasure, was valued at £3.285 million, about $4.3 million in today's terms, in 2009. And the Sutton Hoo finds are even more significant. Though we can't attach a specific dollar amount to the Sutton Hoo treasure, its invaluable insight into the Anglo-Saxon world spirituality, artistry, and power dynamics makes it a priceless treasure of humanity. Stepping away from sunken ships and royal tombs, we find ourselves in the quiet town of Panagurishte, Bulgaria. Here in 1949, 3 brothers were digging clay for bricks when they stumbled upon a remarkable golden artifact, setting in motion a discovery that would shake the archaeological world. The brothers had discovered the Panagurishte treasure, a golden hoard dating back to the 4th to 3rd centuries BC. The treasure consists of 9 vessels, including a firely, 3 wine jugs, and 4 rhytons. Each of these pieces was ornately decorated with scenes from Thracian mythology and custom, revealing the deep and rich cultural tapestry of the Thracian people. One of the most stunning pieces, the amphora rhyton, is believed to be a ceremonial vessel. Crafted in gold, it is adorned with scenes depicting a Thracian ruler and a procession of servants, warriors, and elders, giving us a glimpse into the courtly life of ancient Thracia. What's most astounding about this find is not just the gold itself, but the exceptional craftsmanship, the exquisite detailing, and the storytelling through art. The weight of the treasure is approximately 6.164 kilograms of 24-karat gold. Considering the cultural and historical value plus the raw gold value, it is estimated that the Panegyriște treasure is worth at least $200 million. But can you really put a price on a discovery that has unlocked so many secrets of a long-lost civilization? For many, the true value of the Panegyriște treasure is not in dollars and cents, but in its priceless contribution to our understanding of the human past. So there we have it, an odyssey through time and space, chasing gold, history, and the human spirit. From Sutton Hoo's ghostly ship to the sunken SS Central America, and from the golden pharaoh Tutankhamun's resting place to the Thracians' exquisite golden hoard in Panegyriște, we've uncovered not just treasures but narratives, civilizations and cultures that once flourished. After all, we know the real treasure lies not in gold or gems, but in the knowledge and understanding we gain. And as always, thanks for watching.